Hello, and welcome all to Movie Hunter, the show that tracks down the quality of all sorts of movies. My name is Hunter, and today in the third episode, our target is Fantastic Mr. Fox, produced by 20th Century Fox, Indian Paintbrush, Legacy Enterprises, and American Imperial Pictures, and was distributed by 20th Century Fox. Fantastic Mr. Fox released on October 23rd, 2009 in the United Kingdom, and on November 13th, 2009 in the United States. The film was directed by Wes Anderson, this being the first of his two animated films, the other being Isle of Dogs in 2018. The film was based on the book of the same name by Ronald Dahl. The screenplay was by Wes Anderson and Noah Baumbach, and it was produced by Wes Anderson, Alison Abbott, Scott Rubin, and Jeremy Dawson. The film's cinematography was done by Tristan Oliver, was edited by Andrew Weisblum, and was composed by Alexandre Desplat. The cast includes George Clooney, Meryl Streep, Jason Schwartzman, Eric Anderson, Wally Wolodarski, Bill Murray, Willem Dafoe, Michael Gambon, Robin Hurlstone, Hugo Jeannes, and Owen Wilson. The film unfortunately underperformed, gaining $46.2 million on a budget of $40 million. Despite this, though, the film received great reviews overall and was nominated for 22 different awards, of which it won 6 of. There are many behind-the-scene details that I could spend all day talking about, as is the case with most stop animation films, but I'll stick to what I found the most interesting. Much of the voice acting was done outside, with the actors acting out what their character was doing. Every single frame of this film has the color orange in it. There are many more, and I encourage you to find out more information if it interests you. The film follows Mr. and Mrs. Fox, two thieves who steal chickens from farmers. Upon expecting a child, Mrs. Fox requests that they quit being thieves and that Mr. Fox gets a normal job. The film jumps 12 Fox years. The film uses Fox time instead of human time, and we see Mr. Fox pondering aloud if anyone reads his column in the newspaper, and tell Mrs. Fox that he wants to not feel poor. Amid his midlife crisis, Mr. Fox explores options of upgrading their home from a hole to a tree and sees one he likes. Despite his lawyer's warning of a cost and a dangerous neighborhood, Mr. Fox purchases the tree and moves his family there. He buys this tree because he wants to pull off one last thieving job on the three big nearby farms of farmers named Boggis, Bunce, and Beans, who are well known for their danger to animals. Mr. Fox recruits his friend, an opossum named Kylie, to help him on this one last job. I should also mention that Mr. Fox's nephew, named Kristofferson, comes to stay with him because his father is ill. This launches a B-plot where Mr. Fox's son, Ash, becomes jealous of him despite his kind nature due to his athletic ability that gets him much approval, especially from Mr. Fox, who even takes him on the third night, robbing the third farm. However, after the 3 raids, the farmers Boggis, Bunce, and Beans team up to kill Mr. Fox and wait outside to shoot him, though they only end up getting his tail. The farmers then try progressively more deadly tactics to kill Mr. Fox, forcing him, his family, and Kylie to dig underground and bunker until the farmers give up. However, the farmers don't end up giving up, and they continue digging further underground. Eventually, they run into Badger and the other animals, who were forced to dig due to the farmers hunting on Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox devises a plan that he convinces everyone to follow, which involves robbing the farms again while the farmers are distracted hunting them. The plan works out, but when the farmers find out, they flood the animals out and force them into the sewers where there is no food. In the commotion, Ash tries to get his dad's tail back from the farmers to gain his approval, and Kristofferson joins him but ends up getting captured. Realizing that he can't get out of this one, and that he has endangered the lives of everyone around him, he goes to accept the farmer's offer of trading Kristofferson for himself. Before this, however, Rat, a security guard for the farmers, attacks but gets electrocuted and dies, but manages to tell Mr. Fox where Kristofferson is, which inspires Mr. Fox with a new plan to save Kristofferson and himself. While the animals distract the farmers, Mr. Fox, Ash, and Kylie go into the farm and save Kristofferson, ending in a climactic battle where Ash gets to prove himself to his dad, and they all manage to get back to the sewer. The farmers decide to wait for them to have to leave due to the lack of food, but Mr. Fox manages to find a path to the supermarket, which the farmers coincidentally supply, allowing for a steady income of food and forming a new neighborhood in the sewer, which Kristofferson's parents consider moving to upon his father getting better, and the movie ends. First, a topic that must be talked about when talking about this film is the animation. Perhaps it is my inexperience to less well-known movies, but the animation in this film is something unlike what I have ever seen in anything else. It uses stop motion, but instead of clay like as seen in Wallace and Gromit or The Nightmare Before Christmas, it uses puppets. Also, a fun fact I learned about this film is that many of the animators on this film also worked on the 2005 film Corpse's Bride. If I had to describe the animation, I'd describe it as smoothly yet stilted at the same time. It gives a fun, strange aesthetic that fits the strangeness of the movie. It also has a lot of creative visuals, my personal favorites being the opossum's swirling eyes when he stares into space, and the cheap-looking basic animation that they perform when they dance after a victory. Another aesthetically pleasing aspect of this film is the world building. First, the use of animals is very well done and leads to surprising, funny moments when the animals, who primarily act like humans, suddenly revert to their animal habits and hiss at each other or savagely devour a plate of food. Other scenes that utilize the use of animals include the use of fox ears as opposed to human ears, and the habits of animals, such as foxes living in tunnels and hunting/eating chickens. Getting to the plot of the film, I'd like to talk about the protagonist, Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox is the center of the film, his name being part of the title after all, and the morals and themes of the movie all tie back to him. Mr. Fox has a problem. He wants to be fantastic again, hence the complete movie title. But what exactly does that mean? Well, to be fantastic, he says that he must be seen as intimidating, to not only be better than his opponents, but absolutely humiliate them with his unmatched pure skill. In his current life, writing a column in the newspaper, he doesn't get that fulfillment and feels trapped by mundane tasks. When he decides to do his one last job, he gets taken back to a time where this is his normal, and he feels great. He dodges any obstacle like it's nothing, and makes fools of the farmers who are praised for their extreme danger to animals. However, through his taunting and secret return to thieving, he has accidentally executed the master plan to his own downfall. With the farmers hunting him, his family, and his neighbors, Mr. Fox seeks to avoid learning his lesson by creating more plans and giving toast to his successes. He is seeking any potential hope that the thieving life is something that he can return to permanently. If it isn't until Kristofferson is taken and all the animals are forced into the sewer that Mr. Fox must come to terms with his reality, that he cannot be the person he once was. As such, he performs his most selfless act in the film. He willingly chooses to sacrifice himself in the hope that the farmers will let everyone else live. However, his lesson is not over yet, and fate delivers the news of Kristofferson's whereabouts to Mr. Fox, allowing him to come up with one last plan to save everyone. This time, though, he uses not what he once had, but what he has now, his family and neighbors. On top of that, once everyone is back to the sewer safe, Mr. Fox can supply the new neighborhood with supplies, not by trying to reclaim the past, but by embracing the present. Thus, we reach the moral of the film. Mr. Fox doesn't need to forget the past, but he does need to realize that trying to reclaim it is futile. By embracing the past for what it was, and applying what he can to the current day, He's able to improve the life of himself and those around him, and he can appreciate the things he does have that he took for granted. It wasn't until the survival of himself and those around him was put into jeopardy that he realized just how precious simply surviving is. This brings me to the two characters who show the fantasy and reality of Mr. Fox, the wolf and rat. Mr. Fox states throughout the film that he is afraid of wolves, and in the final act, Mr. Fox, Kylie, Ash, and Kristofferson encounter a wolf. However, instead of cowering, Mr. Fox appreciates the wolf and its beauty. Obviously, there is some symbolism here, so let's dig a little deeper. The interesting thing about the wolf is that it doesn't walk on two legs like the rest of the animals, nor does it wear clothes. It is completely a wild animal, unburdened by the mundane tasks of life. The wolf represents who Mr. Fox wants to be in the beginning of the film. He is frightened by wolves because they represent who he desires to be, but never can. He is unafraid of the wolf in the end because he has accepted the past for what it is and can now appreciate the beauty of what was. Rat, on the other hand, represents who Mr. Fox would have become had he not learned this lesson. Rat is a security guard for one of the farmers and is very similar to Mr. Fox, as he always is seeking something that he can never get. In Rat's final scene, he completely embraces his want of being the wild animal he once was and viciously attacks everyone, ending in his untimely death. If Mr. Fox hadn't learned his lesson mere moments prior to Rat's death, he would have ended up in the exact same spot. Sure, Rat ends up redeeming himself by telling the animals where Kristofferson is being kept, but as Mr. Fox points out, at this point, he's gone too far and has now died because of it. Rat crossed a line that could not be uncrossed, and it cost him his most precious thing, his survival. In conclusion, the wolf represents who Mr. Fox wants to be, but never can, and Rat represents who he really will become if he keeps trying to be the wolf. It is only by embracing the past for what it was, and using that to improve his present, that Mr. Fox finds comfort in his modern life. Next, I'd like to take a brief break from the themes of this film to talk about the villains. The villains in this film, the farmers, Boggis, Bunce, and Beans, aren't phenomenal villains, but they are still pretty good. I enjoy their wacky nature and their increasingly absurd solutions to take down Mr. Fox. On top of that, they greatly do one of the most important things for villains to do. They are a threat. They are scary to have on screen as they have the potential to serve some real harm to the protagonists. I also enjoy the reference to the fact that the children have made songs about how scary they are, and then we hear that song play in exciting, fast-paced action scenes. It has also recently occurred to me that the villains contrast Mr. Fox in a way, as they are single-mindedly focused on a single task that they ignore all other factors, similar to Mr. Fox trying to reclaim the past at the cost of his family and friends' livelihoods. Back to the character development in the film, I'd like to talk about Ash and his relationship with his cousin Kristofferson. Kristofferson is a naturally gifted athlete, and as such, Ash, who is much smaller, becomes jealous of his talent and praise. Ash is frequently rude to Kristofferson because of this, but in return, Kristofferson shows nothing but kindness to Ash. What's interesting here is that Ash is jealous of all that Kristofferson has, but Kristofferson is missing what Ash does have, his home and his family. He is in a strange environment and doesn't know if his father will survive the illness, leaving him sad inside despite his efforts not to show it. In the end, Ash realizes this and apologizes to him for not realizing what he doesn't have and instead only focusing on what he did. Ash realizes that being talented doesn't make problems go away, and on top of that, he learns that being different has its benefits, as Ash is the only one small enough to fit through the grate that leads to where Kristofferson was being held. Furthermore, Ash trains with Kristofferson and becomes better at athletic tasks, learning that skills can be developed and don't necessarily need to come from natural talent. Ash, like his father, learns to appreciate survival and not take it for granted. to not be jealous of what others have, but to appreciate what you do have. I give Fantastic Mr. Fox a 9 out of 10. It is an extremely fun and clever film that never seems to stop or slow down. It has interesting ideas and characters, as well as cleverly written plots and themes. Despite its strangeness, I do think that there is enough there for children to enjoy the film too, though I would be surprised if they were able to 100% comprehend what the film is saying. Then again, that's part of the fun of rewatching movies you saw when you were little, being able to understand what you missed and gain new appreciations for it. And to be honest, I don't 100% understand the film. There are many deeper themes that the movie conveys, and I highly recommend watching other reviews, as it seems as though every video I find has something new to say. In the end, I recommend Fantastic Mr. Fox to anyone who has not seen it before, and would also recommend a rewatch, as you most certainly will realize something you didn't the first time. Well, that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed, and feel free to share any opinions you had on the movie. A new episode releases each week, so stay tuned to see which film I cover next. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.